This one mine, bro?
Yeah, mine over there.
What kind of chips you got?
I didn't get no chips. I got King of Pop.
Hey, man. See, I got to talk that talk, boy.
I'm live. Peace, family. Peace, family.
Oh, my God. That boy reminded me.
You gotta say it twice. What's going on, family? How we feeling? Amazing. Look, man, I just got an announcement to make for all of those that's been tapping in. What y'all laughing at? You don't even know what we talking about. Now, listen, man. You know, the goal is to provide extreme value always. And in my business practices, we always do things to create and provide a value. And I'm gonna ask you probably maybe like 3 questions, and then I'm gonna get on out of here. But something that we working on this month, for all of our, so this month and the month of July only, we're gonna be providing a free ebook for all of the customers who, or the clients rather, who either got crowned or that's on the go. So if you look at it, it's a solution-based thinkers ebook that's going to be right here that we're going to be dropping. And everybody who actually buys a crown or gets on the go, we're going to be emailing you a free ebook only from now through July 19th. After July 19th, it will no longer be available. This is just going to be an exclusive offer only for the people that's on the Golden Crown, just as an additional experience reciprocation for those who support. So it's like you can't put on a crown and not have knowledge in your mind, because the crown is a representation of your higher mind. It's a representation of your higher self tapping in continuously. The gold is a representation of you tapping in and getting that body. Like, what's the point of getting focused if you don't have information and knowledge to focus your mind? One thing you have to know within the law of focus is whatever you water grows. And a lot of people don't understand that they water in the wrong seeds continuously, and they have their life distracted, and they don't have their focus in the proper direction. So just creating products to where it actually helps you tap in and get you focused, you know, and things that represent that higher mind wouldn't be enough to create the aesthetic if we don't also put something in your mind. So I literally had this free ebook created so that I can give that additional value to all of the clients that tap in from now to July 19th. So everybody who buys Gold Water or get Crown from both of my companies, they're going to get a free ebook with that. And we're going to be mailing out these ebooks, I believe, what's today? Monday. I believe they're going to be mailing out this week. So we're going to, as long as you put your email in there so we can send you through the right email, I'm going to have my assistant send all of them out. And like I said, this is going to be something free that I'm providing. And I'm also working on dropping my, the first volume of one of my books, in August. So that's the goal right now that I have set. You know, along this journey in life, I believe everybody should have principles within their life that they live their life by. One of my principles is life is about the journey, not the destination. Only destination in life is death. And what that does is that set me on a continuous path of creating goals to goals to goals to goals to goal. It doesn't short-sight me to where if I reach a goal and I gain that result, a lot of people are thinking of, okay, what's next? That what's next often depresses people because it throws them off a rhythm and balance to where they don't know what's next. Right? So the goal is to continue to make big goals. So if I beat this one and I make this one, then cool. I'm just going to set me another goal. So it continues to keep me on that life journey. So that's a very important thing when we talking about having rhythm and we talking about living a life that is an asset lifestyle. I was having a consultation with a young lady and I asked her, because we was talking about assets versus liabilities and getting to your purpose. And one people don't realize is that what does liability start with? Come on now. What does liability start with? Anybody in the answer? Who got an answer for me? What does liability start with? I'm going to let y'all think. I'm going to let that breathe for a second. Liability starts with not just the L. That's beautiful that you got that L because you're going to take an L. But it starts with the lies that we tell ourselves. Now, think about this in the process. right? Because when we want to get to that thing that most people call purpose, then you start to live within that truth, the reason that you do things, right? So a lot of people are lying to themselves, and that's the greatest liability that we have, is not being able to live within your truth. The lies that we tell ourselves robs us of our willpower. Every time you lie, you're robbing yourself of willpower, because speaking the truth aligns your thought and your emotions together. And you need your thought and your emotions to be combined together. That's how you start to get to that point of manifestation. So going beyond the law of attraction to where we know about the metaphysicals of vibratory thought that we send out as signals to the world, we also have to be responsible in the things that we say and the things that we do. Like we say, think about this. A lot of people don't know that they find themselves unhappy in journey, even though when they start succeeding. Like, how can you be successful in your ambitions, but your internal, you're failing, right? So there's a lot of people who internally are poor, but outside with the ambitions and the things that they accumulate, they find themselves successful. You could be making more money than you ever made, but internally you still unhappy. Why is that? Because you lied to yourself. You said that if I just got this money, that's going to be the thing that I need. That's going to be the thing that make me happy. The reason I started this job, because I want to make more money. You understand me? Or even in our daily lives, I always tell people, and it's more so like a little crackle joke when I be speaking, is that we often tell people laugh out loud when we silent as hell. We not even actually laughing. Imagine if you lived a life where you told no lies at all. You will force yourself to align your thoughts up to your purpose. Your purpose is what you propose to yourself that you're going to do, right? So you start taking snapshots of your life. Every propose that you see yourself, living in, you see, damn, am I aligned with my purpose? Is this really the truth? Is this the thing that's going to cultivate that higher self with me? Is this that thing that's going to allow me to pull my thoughts and draw them out into the universe? How do I become a solution-based thinker? How do I deprogram and reprogram so I can have the highest program possible? How do I get to that point? How do I recalibrate my beliefs? Do you even believe in what you say you believe in? Huh? Let's get to the truth of it, because we often lie to ourselves about the things that we believe in because we were indoctrinated. They were passed down to us. So we say that, yeah, I believe in that. Then you ask a person why you believe in that. They said because of their mama, right? They said because of their pops. They said because of the environment. But that's a lie. You telling yourself that's not really aligned with your spirit, not really aligned with your emotions, not really just aligned with your thought process. So anytime you have division between your thoughts and emotions, it robs you of your ability to pull your willpower out into existence, your ability to manifest. So when we say speak things into existence, when we're speaking, is a verbal thing. Speaking is a verb. It's an action word. So we're talking about the actions that you do daily, right? So your daily actions have to be speaking, right? Because if somebody was to watch your life from a video and they look at and they can see what you say versus what you do, would they truly be aligned? If they can hear what you think versus what you do, would it truly be aligned? If they can see your original thoughts, right? And then they can see the actual thoughts that filtered out by fear, because most people filter their original thoughts out by fear. They don't act in that first mind. They act in that mind that says, know what, let's do the safe thing. They act in that path of mediocrity instead of, damn, no, let me think completely outside the box, even if it's absurdity to others. But I appreciate myself going along that path, right? For me, what gets me enthused is crazy ideas. The ones that I know other people go hear and be like, bro, that's crazy. That's laughable. But then when you complete it and you get those results, individuals will appraise your results, even though they may mock your journey. They may mock your process, but they go praise your results. You got to remember that. People will mock your process, but praise your results. When I first did the crowns, individuals told me that couldn't work. Like I literally had people telling me that they couldn't work, right? Here we done sold, man, hundreds of $1,000s worth of thousands of crowns later, and we done crowned some of monumental figures all across the world. People told me that couldn't work. So you don't listen to other individuals who don't have the same vision as you because they can't see as much as you see, right? People often, and then that's another thing. We allow people to become toxic to our vision. What's a toxic? A toxin is a poison. Right? We allow other people's opinion, perceptions to slowly poison our visions and slowly poison our originality and our higher selves. They tell us to think more realistic. Realistic is the path to mediocrity. When you want to get to that greatness, then you start thinking of those original thoughts, those absurd thoughts that individuals have. This is a task that all of you all can do. Right? And I'm about to read something from this ebook that, like I said, for all those who don't know, you go get a free ebook until July 19th for all those who get on the gold or get crowned. So that means if you go to the website, you buy your crown, you get on the gold, we're going to send you a free ebook. You make sure you type in your email. So it says that in the ebook, it says, what does it take to reprogram ourselves to solution-based thinking? Well, it says, answer, society is working towards a subconscious paradigm shift. The subconscious mind is where you shift your paradigm because it controls the conscious behavior. Rituals and rites are usually all that we do. Religion is full of rituals. So when you think about success, you can look at the rituals we've been doing and you can measure whether those things are successful or not. Since those are the tactics we've been using, then you need to look at the results of today. And depending on your observations, you have to make a decision to continue as usual or switch up the rituals. So putting it all in context, in order to reprogram a people, you have to reprogram their language. You have to take a look at their faith and what's built into those rituals. You have to ask what are the root of those rituals and how were they learned. There's a need for balance within how we align ourselves, our morality, and our righteousness. In America, it's no secret that most of our rituals are passed down from slavery, and these rituals are Christianized behavior, meaning Christianized in the sense that when the slave master gave the Christian religion the slave, they embedded certain things within the ritual so those people will become better slaves. So the way our moral system is set up is based upon the slave's moral system, and the slave moral system is based upon following the crowd mind, not to use one power as if it gives them more upright or moral stance. The master utilizes the slave morale system to control the culture of the people and control the language. The master believes he's doing good because he's giving the people a language, a God, a culture. The slave attaches anything that comes from the masters to be wrong. So if the slave did any of those things characterized by the master, then the slave will consider himself wrong, so he stays away from the moral system of the master. Considering our behavior as a collective in this country, we're not fully utilizing our power. Our belief is turning the other cheek and not using our power. Somehow we think that makes us better than the one who oppresses us. Now I'm gonna leave it there. It goes a little deeper. It goes a little deeper. It goes a little deeper. You know what I'm talking about? But it's gonna be great, man, for the people that tap in, man. And the goal has from the beginning is to shift your paradigm. People always ask, how can I be with the shifters? How can I become a paradigm shifter? Well, there's a criteria. And the first criteria for any of them, right, to turn your passion into solutions for the people, right? You have to passionately shift the paradigm. Now, how do you do that? For one, you have to speak truth to power. Speaking truth to power is not for everybody, right? Most people like the comfortable job, right? Because most people like to assimilate and acculturate into society, right? So there's a branch of when you speak truth to power, it makes other people fearful of attaching themselves next to you. Why? Because their friends are aligned with the societal viewpoints. So they feel that if I align to you, then I also may be missing out on opportunities. There's a branch rule, right? Because guess what? If this person sees me aligned with them, then they might see I'm kind of dangerous, so they might not give me opportunities. So the average person is thinking about what they learning instead of what they can gain from speaking truth to power. How much of a legend that you can become. How more powerful it is just admitting your presence and speaking your truth and ruling over your environment instead of assimilating to your environment in cowardness. But the average person is a coward and they don't even know. Right? So we are afraid of confrontation. We're afraid of physical activities that allow us to protect ourselves, secure our spirits, right? Secure our power within the paradigm. So we go for the easy route. Let me just gain freedom. I don't just want to gain freedom. Only a slave wants to gain freedom. You have to think about that. A slave wants to gain freedom because that's the thing that he doesn't possess, because he doesn't control the circumference of his own activities. So the goal shouldn't just be to gain freedom. The goal should be gaining power. What do we do after we gain freedom? Right? Because envisioning anything in a true manifesting power is to envision the results that you want to get to. Right? So I'm not, even when I was younger, I used to always envision, what do I want the results to be? I didn't think about whether I was going to win the race. I thought about how I was going to celebrate the awards, how I was going to celebrate the rewards. Right? I think about the celebration because it gives me the necessary energy, knowledge, and thoughts to overcome every problem. So therefore, I actually get to those results. But if all we want to do is to get to that point of basic necessities, right? To food, clothing, and shelter, to be able to feed ourselves and things of that nature, and to say that we want freedom. No, our ancestors who were slaves were yelling that song. Right? So now that you are so-calledly free, or you have this liberation, what do? What were you going to do with your freedom? You access power. The first power you must realize is the power that aligns within. So the average person that I see that makes up excuses, my family is this way, I don't get to do this, people are judging me that, nobody cares. Because that only tells me you haven't accessed the power within to determine your own reality. That just tells me that you're not utilizing the resources that you have in order to change your paradigm. That tells me that you haven't assessed your own value to say that, you know what, I got all of the jewels and gems in here. The world has to recognize my value because I'm powerful. But at first you have to recognize and you have to walk around with that spirit of power, regardless of who you meet and who you greet. They have to greet that spirit of power. They said it's the most powerful human being I ever came encounter with because you believe that. And then you emit your beliefs on to others so that they have to reciprocate the value that you learned about yourself. When I walk around, you go feel my spirit. If I'm in a room, you go feel my energy. My vibratory field is very wide. You know what I'm talking about? So a person is always looking. As soon as I walk in the room, the energy shifts. They say, who is this? What do you do? Where you from? What is that on your head? Let me look at the tattoos or what you wearing. You shift the paradigm by your own presentation of appearance when you walk in the room and you carrying symbols of higher consciousness and righteousness and intelligence and power. A person can't help but to recognize that. I don't care who you are. So when I speak, I see individuals that acculturate and assimilate to the world instead of making the world the one that they want to live in, because there's two different type of people. It's the type of person that comes in the room, right? And they trying to figure out how can I fit in this room to where I don't shift the energy. Instead of that person that say, I'm going to bring my world into this room. We all have different worlds based upon our perceptions, our language, our beliefs. But what is that power that you have in self to say, you know what? I'm going to impregnate this environment with who I am. Think about that. Man is mind. If man is mind, and you can tell what a man thinketh by what his hands do, what his feet do, by what his actions say. So what is your mind saying? What do we know about your mind? What do we know about who you are? What do we know about your ego? The ego is one of the most detrimental things to man and woman because we operate in ego so much that it doesn't allow us to shift to the next level. Where does our evolution lie? It lies in shifting beyond this category of habits that we created. So if we're stuck at this particular level in life, we have to ask ourselves, what the hell is that that's holding us back? We see individuals that can go so much higher, but they don't want to work with others because their ego feel like it will be diminished in the presence of others' light. You afraid of your light being diminished and you don't want to share the light with others? You don't want to pull up a seat at the table with someone else because somehow you think you may be less impressive? That's ego. I did this. I need credit for this. I am this. What about the we? How can we speak unity, say that that's a solution, but we are on this process of individuation, not to add to the collective, but we want the collective to work around us. That goes against the principles of our original lifestyle. That goes against the principles of our nature. We're born in a sense of collaboration. We're not born by ourselves. Our parents impregnate. Our parents conceived us. And then your mother had to go through that time, and then she had to be birthed. Life is born out of collaboration of masculine and feminine energy. And all principles of life can be applied to the manifesting power. Because if you think about the thought when you first conceived it, you have to push that thought outward through the pain. You have to go through that process. But so many people are at that precipice of power. So many people are at that precipice of birthing new ideas, of birthing new self. But the pain of that process of getting rid of ego, the pain of that process of exposing yourself to the world, the pain of that process of pushing a little more, a lot of people retract from that. So we have to get back to that place to say, you know what? I'm willing to shift my ego in a direction that helps out everybody. So I did the video with the young man. He asked me if I'm a genius. I said, hell yeah, I'm a genius. I said, hold up your fingertip, right? And I showed him the little spiral on the fingertip. We was at the one of those Virgin Islands. And the little brother, I say, look at this. There's not another person that was born on this planet Earth in the history and existence of people that's been born that has that same spiral of that universe that lets you know who you are. This is the barcode to your cosmic existence. So our genius is our genuineness. It's the uniqueness of light that we born with. But it's your ability to produce that into reality. But anytime somebody want to let you know, hey, whether I'm genius, look at this. I'm just only one of me. Look at this spiral on my fingertip. But it's up to me to pull out that genuineness. That genuineness is that uniqueness that comes only to you. If a genius asks you what your opinion was, a billionaire, a millionaire, they can only get your perception. They can only get your genuineness from you. But a lot of time we kill that within ourselves because we lie to ourselves. We operate within fear. We have a thought, an idea that we want to do, but then fear tells us, let's take the mediocre route, the mediocre path. Let's not do that. That's going to require I got to go into this business meeting. That's going to require I got to transform into a better communicator. That's going to require me to have empathy. That's going to require me to sacrifice ego. That's going to require me to collaborate and work with others. That's going to require me to put in thousands of hours of execution. That's going to require me to manage myself. That's going to require me to become a better thinker, a better doer, and better practice of better habits. That's going to require me to question my very existence of the things that I built this comfort life on. Because beyond your comfort level, beyond that comfort level is your greatness. But you got to remember that comfort zone, that's what you built so far. To break that comfort zone is when you shift. It's when we deprogram and we reprogram. Because in order to reprogram, you got to deprogram yourself. You have to take away the platform of things to do. You can't build on a corrupt system continuously. As we were talking with the brother Idris Sandul, we're talking about how these corrupt platforms that we're building on. Those are the problem, the biasness built into that corruption and that programming. So the deprogramming allows us to build our own platforms of thinking, to assess our own value based on our own metrics. So when it's time for us to negotiate our value with the world, we're doing it based on how we programmed ourselves, not how the world programmed us to measure our own value. That's a different level. Individuals want to work. Individuals want to do certain things. They always want to assess your value of this. What, do you have this credential, that credential? Have you gotten this award? Have you gotten that? I don't need none of that shit. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table. And you're not just assessing my value from what just I've done, but what I'm going to do. You buying into the potentiality of my existence. But people think they slick. The world think they slick. They create these false metrics based on society for you to grade your value so that they can treat you like a slave. So that they don't have to pay you what you're worth. But when you know who you are and you tap in, then you get to negotiate with the world based on who you are. Not what you do. Think about that. Based on who you are, not what you do. That's a different level. Today is the anniversary of Michael Jackson, right? Think about that. The anniversary of Michael Jackson. One of the greatest entertainers to grace this planet Earth. I'm pretty sure many people approach that man with all kind of crazy deals. Wanted him to do advertisements for different things, right? And a lot of people didn't know the value that he had at a younger stages in life. If they did, then they would have got him into different things because they know that his likeness would be powerful. What time is it, bro? It's 12:52 where I'm at. Nicole, Sonia, Love. It's not tomorrow. It's today. Tomorrow don't exist. Tomorrow was made up by lazy people so they don't have to do shit today. That's what tomorrow is for, procrastinators. I live time a little differently. I'm an entrepreneur. It's always the best time to do it is always in the now, not the later. Let me go do this tomorrow. Boy, tomorrow, don't even think about that first lazy ass person that say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. Where the hell is tomorrow at? They just wanted an excuse not to get it done today, man. But as a God say, be, then it is. He didn't say, be, then it'd be done later. Nah, because thought and action has to be done at the same time. The subconscious mind doesn't know time the way we know time. So when you program yourself, you always program yourself in the present. That's how you get to that truth. That's how you get to that believability. You say you go do something, you do it. All of a sudden, you start to get into this mode. You start to get into this repetitious behavior of consistently getting things done. And you become the type of person that word is bonded by their actions. My word is bond is life. I give my life before my word shall fail. We grew up saying that as young children and didn't even know how powerful that affirmation was. Because we wanted people to believe us when we said that. We want you to know, I'm serious. My word is bond. I give my life before my word shall fail. Think about really believing that. Like, yo, I give my life, like word is bond. And you know that if you break that bond with self, then a person can't believe you no more. They can't trust you. What's the point in even hearing you? So think about that every time that we speak. And every time that we think and we lying, then we are breaking that bond that we have with our word. And our word is how we create worlds, how we bring things into existence. So if somebody says that they're going to do something and their word is supposed to be bonded with them, and then they break that word, then you can't trust them no more. And when they kill that trust, then therefore their believability goes out the window. You don't know whether this person is real or fake. And that's when we get to that point of what we call bullshit. And the philosophy of bullshit is when a person says or do something with no regard to whether it's true or false. So when we just give our word out or we say different things and we don't know whether it's true or false, you have no power within that. Because your word can shift worlds when everything that you say is truthful and everything that you say you mean and intentional. So every time somebody hear you speak and every time you say something to give a promise, they know that that word is bonded by real action and real power behind it. A lot of times we waste words, which is like wasting worlds that we can build, wasting bonds that we can create. But if you're known as that type of person that's always playing by your word, and we all have work to do in that area. I'm not perfect, but that should be the goal of working towards that. I believe the goal is not being perfect. I don't know nobody that working this earth is perfect. But the most beautiful thing is the striving of perfection. A person striving of perfection. I often hear people say, I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to strive for perfection. Why not? Be perfect in even your ideas of what you believe imperfection is then. But be on that journey of life of becoming greater and greater and greater. Don't give yourself excuses to be weak. And don't create a logic system and an ideology and a philosophy behind your weakness, right? Create that towards greatness. Give yourself reasons to where, you know what? I'm going to continue to go through life working to graduate. Graduation points don't start just in schools with degrees. Graduation points start every single day. Did I graduate today, though? Did I become stronger in my word and my bond? Did I conquer a part of myself? Did I complete a goal? What did I graduate? You have to graduate every single day because life is school, that experience that you get. Those ideas that you have, can you execute them better? My father always told me, say, whether you being a janitor, whether you cooking food, whatever it is, whatever your job is, you're supposed to do it in a masterful, perfect way. The same way if you boxing, they tell you, no, punch like you fighting. So that practice becomes perfect. That practice becomes how you utilize and when it comes to real life action, practice like you'd be doing it in real life. Don't play around with it. So even if I was a janitor at some point in life, I would want to mop that floor like the best goddamn janitor that ever existed. Even if you working a job for somebody else, do it the greatest way because it's practice for perfection. It's practice for mastery. It's practice for when you want to do something for yourself. But if you used to half-assing through life, when it's time for you to produce something for yourself, then you go half-ass through that as well. So we don't do things for the selfish reason, say, I'm not going to, I don't like this job, I don't like that. No, do everything masterful. So therefore, it becomes a habit of mastering. It becomes a habit of perfection. And not becoming a perfectionist because the idea of perfection is often built in our insecurities of never believing what we good enough. So I don't mean it in that manner. I mean it in a manner of mastery. And let mastery be your habit. So, man, y'all got me going. Got me going. So listen. Free ebook for everybody who orders on the go starting now to July 19th. And also for anybody who gets a crown from now in July 19th. You know, so it's just going to be free knowledge that adds. I don't know any other company that, you know, you buy a product, we exchange, and we giving you knowledge for free as well to go along with that because this is lifestyle. I don't want you walking around dumb. I don't want you walking around with bad programming. I want your mind to be able to access its highest level. I went to the chiropractor today, right? And as I was watching the videos in the chiropractor, they had the videos about the reason why it's so important to have your spine aligned. And they was talking about how energy and electricity can get compressed in certain parts of the body, right? To where it creates an unalignment, and that's what starts to cause that pain. And that the alignment allows the electricity to flow up through the spine, all the way to the top of your brain and things of that nature to activate that higher energy within your mind. Yeah, think about this. Like, your body has to be aligned, even for you to be the best conduit for your thoughts. So she cracked the hell out of my goddamn back and told me I needed to come back for even proper alignment. There's many things in our lives that need to be aligned in order for us to be the best conduit that we don't really think about. We don't really know the source of our problems. And we're not really treating the root of our problems. When there's a smoke detector that goes off in our house, now, if you like me, you're not just a person that just want to turn off the smoke detector. You want to figure out what is the cause of this. And the goal is to root out the cause, then get the smoke detector to cut off. But if you don't know what the cause is, you don't just cut it off when the alarm signals. But we have many issues and many alarms that's going off in our lives. Nah, brother Jareem 44, there's only one of the podcasts that's been low, and that's the one with Derek Grace. And it says in the description, volume low. I could have took it all the way down, but I said there was some valuable jewels in there, so I kept it up. Don't say the whole podcast low now. Don't be coming on here false advertising on the brand. You know what I'm talking about? So we got to make sure that we're checking the root of the problems, right? And not just trying to get rid of them and cover them up. Because a lot of people are ugly and they think makeup go help. Not knowing that beauty starts from the inside of realizing that you're beautiful naturally when you look in the mirror. But we think we can just cover up our ugliness of how we see ourselves with some makeup and feel better. That's the problem. The first thing you have to deal with is the insecurities that you have within yourself. Because if you think you ugly, then you are. If you think you beautiful, then you are. And no amount of makeup can change that. So we have to change the way we see ourselves first. Appreciate y'all for tapping in this evening. Just got some late night keys. Thank you for everybody that's on this live. You know, we the bag, man. We the culture. We become the clout creators instead of the clout chasers. Why chase something that you can create? There's way too many people out here clout chasing because it feels good to stand next to somebody and share some of their energy. And people think by that association that you powerful. Nah, create your own clout. We don't need awards. Create your own clout. Not awards from entities that's not real, that don't validate us. We go give awards to the people who deserve them from those who are inside the culture. Become the clout creators, not the clout chasers. The clout creators and not the clout chasers. Remember that. Remember, if you change the standard of beauty in your mind, then you're always beautiful, as long as you're measuring yourself by the correct metrics. If you create the standard of success and define it for yourself, then you're always successful. You gotta think about these things. Because I'm going to tell you, clout chasing gives a lot of people feel good. It can be addictive. Being around great people instead of being a great person. People having the illusion that you're great instead of you actually feeling that within yourself, because the moment that you lose the people, you lose yourself. A moment that spotlight not on you, people go depressed. But when you know who you are, you create the clout and you don't chase shit. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hey, I'm tapping out. Let's get this power. Get that ebook too. Peace, y'all.